Good afternoon, boys and girls. Welcome to New Jersey. New Jersey is a state on the east coast of the United States of America. We are going to spend some time in a small town called Lawnville. This is the map of New Jersey, and this is a small town. You see the ice cream parlor, you see a clock on the street, and buildings, and a little small house. This is Simon Bloom. He's the hero of our story, also known as a chronicle. I will be referring to the story as my chronicle. Simon lives in Lawnville, and you are about to hear the extraordinary story of Simon Bloom. Welcome to my chronicle. Look around you. What do you see around you right now? If you're inside, you might see walls, carpeting, and furniture. If you're outside, you might see grass, buildings, sky. But the world is a lot more complicated than it seems. What do I mean? Here's an example. People. Most are just, people. But certain others are special. I'm one of those others. That person next to you could be too. And you would never know. What makes us so special? The books. I'm not talking about the books you read for fun or for school or, in fact, anything you could buy in a store or find in a library. No, the books I mean are so important, they deserve a capital letter. They are called books with a capital B. You see, everything around you, everything in the entire universe has rules, laws, and the books contain the laws, explain them, control them in ways that even I don't fully understand. The books make sure the universe doesn't fall apart. Those of us who know about the books call ourselves the Union. We are the ones who, through the books, keep the universe running smoothly, aside from occasional glitches, like psychic visions, or the way pens sometimes vanish when you're not looking. Everyone else who's not in the Union is an outsider. They don't know about the books or understand how the universe works. Even outsider scientists making discoveries, inventing things, and trying to explain why the sky is blue, how birds fly, or why chocolate tastes so good. They only know a small part of the truth. The Union has always been somewhere behind the scenes, secretly watching over the outsiders through history as they progress and they evolve. Many pose as instructors, often professors or teachers, to better keep an eye on the outsiders. Nobody, not even those of us in the Union, knows where the books come from or what they really are. Several of us, and I'm one of them, are convinced that the books are living, thinking beings that actually had a hand, so to speak, in creating the universe. We believe the books are to be respected, cared for, and even propped up in front of the television when there's a good show on. Everyone in the Union agrees that the books must be kept secret. With all the power they contain, the books have the potential to be the most dangerous things in existence. Why? Why am I telling you all this? Because of my job. I'm a narrator. I see what others see, hear what they hear, feel what they feel, and put it all down in a chronicle. But like all narrators, I'm not allowed to interfere. This particular chronicle is the story of how a magnificent and potentially devastating book came into the hands of an 11-year-old boy named Simon Bloom, and how he changed the universe forever. Chapter 1. Simon Bloom Feels the Breeze. Simon Bloom lived in the northeastern part of the United States, in the northeastern part of New Jersey, in the northeastern part of Bergen County, in the northeastern part of Lawnville. His bedroom faced south. His 2-level house was on Jerome Street, a small road that ended a few houses down, turned a corner, and became the dead end, Van Silas Way. Simon also lived a few blocks from Martin Van Buren Elementary, an ordinary school for students in kindergarten through 6th grade. Simon looked ordinary too. He had light brown hair, a light sprinkling of freckles on his average size nose, which had a slight but unspectacular bump in the middle, and he had wide blue eyes. He was average height for his age, but much to his dismay, was one of the youngest in the 6th grade. He wouldn't be winning any tallness awards. On what seemed to be a perfectly normal Sunday, Simon was flying. He soared through the air over Lawnville and did a loop-the-loop. He laughed as he felt the wind wash over him, laughing because, let's be honest, anyone who can fly and do a loop-the-loop without being strapped into a fancy jet plane has a reason to be in a good mood. Simon then hovered in midair and concentrated. His body vibrated and changed color, turning from pinkish peach to a yellowish red, then to blue, bursts of blinding light. Then he exploded in a brilliant burst of blinding light. Tiny glowing Simon particles scattered across the sky like a human firecracker. Unlike most fireworks, these embers regrouped and turned back into their normal Simon shape. Next, Simon gazed at the daytime outline of the moon and concentrated again. He disappeared, instantly transporting himself from Lawnville and reappearing on the moon's barren, airless surface. There he gleefully jumped about and ran around, leaving footprints all across the dusty moonscape. After a moment, he looked around and sighed at how empty it was. This wasn't much fun without anyone joining in. It was then that Simon Bloom felt a tug inside. He glanced at the earth and blinked, transporting himself back to his bedroom, where he was sitting at his desk chair, his eyes closed, imagining all of this. Yes, it's true, Simon only did those amazing things in his head. His was a very energetic mind. He was probably as active mentally as most professional athletes are physically. But Simon was a lot less likely to have his picture on a cereal box. Actually, he hadn't left the house all morning. Even though it was a beautiful day outside, his parents weren't home to urge him to go outside and enjoy the weather. Both had gone into their offices to catch up on some work. Even when they were home, they were usually reviewing charts or notes. His mother, Sylvia Bloom, was a high-powered advertising executive. She wore tailored business suits and tended to ask questions without waiting for the answer. His father, Stephen Bloom, was an astrophysicist. He was completely obsessed with studying the universe. Sylvia often joked that Stephen wouldn't notice a bomb going off near him. But that wasn't true. He'd probably study the nature of the explosion. Simon didn't mind having workaholic parents. He kept to himself at home, at school, and everywhere in between. He was used to being ignored. His grades were good enough for his teachers to leave him alone, and he usually escaped notice from the bullies, too. Sitting in his desk chair, Simon opened his eyes and wondered where that weird, tugging feeling had come from. He glanced around his room, looking over shelves and shelves of books, comics and old toys, cars, spaceships, dinosaurs, superheroes, you name it. There were movie posters, mostly science fiction and fantasy, pictures of astronauts doing a spacewalk outside their space shuttle and bouncing on the moon, and a drawing by his all-time favorite artist, M.C. Escher. Escher drew the impossible, the rules of reality bending in crazy ways. The one on Simon's wall was called Relativity. It was the inside of a house with people walking up different stairways set at every angle. Some people were completely upside down in relation to others, but each person walked as if his was the normal stairway. Simon looked at the book he'd been reading earlier, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. It was his favorite book, about a perfectly ordinary British man named Arthur Dent who goes with a group of aliens on an incredible adventure throughout the galaxy. Simon loved it because he wished he were Arthur. But that book wasn't the source of the tugging, nor was the Escher picture. It was something outside his window. Simon opened it. And that is when he felt a breeze. No, the breeze, like the books. It was important enough for the big capital B. You see, this was not a normal puff of wind. It was soothing and exciting as it washed over Simon. It made him tingle with thoughts and possibilities. It gave him the tiniest glimpse of a special, hidden part of the world. For a moment, he felt like he was really flying, really was a dazzling firework, really was teleporting to the moon and more, like he could do anything and anything could happen. The breeze faded away and Simon turned back to his room. But he couldn't forget that feeling.